day, the studio gave us Coraline, gave us Paranorman, gave us the very underrated Box Troll, and they gave us Kubo and the Two Strings. Can they hit it out of the park for the fifth time? Well, let's look at it. This is Laika Studios' fifth movie, Missing Link. Missing Link is a story of an adventurer by the name of Sir Leon Frost as he goes around trying to look for oddities so he can join a special society of adventurers. Through contrivances, he ends up meeting a mythical creature, Sasquatch, goes on a adventure that spans four continents technically, and he also, by the way, meets his old lover, who happened to have married his best friend. They meet Mrs. Fortnite, and they go on an adventure, and this is a really good movie. I like the studio's movies. If you look at the previous four, they're all very dark, and they have dark overtones. They're mostly like horror puppetry movies. Kubo and Two Strings, they seem to be going, while they're doing puppets, they're also blending in CGI, and this one is no different, and it looks very spectacular. The story is very funny as well. This is their outing where they go for more comedy than anything else, and I think they kind of nailed it, and it kind of sucks that no one's gonna watch this movie. So Travis Knight, I hope you do very well on Bumblebee 2, because yeah, Travis Knight, the director of Bumblebee, is one of the producers, or one of the owners, I should say, of Laika. This movie is directed and written by Chris Butler at a very tight 95 minutes, maybe. It's easy to go through the bad, and then we can shift to the good this time. There's only really two things bad about it. One, it's a it's a cross-globe adventure. So there are several montages of people traveling, but they kind of handle it Indiana Jones style, where they just take out a map and, draw where they're going. And one is probably a bigger story element, where there's a conversation between two characters, and one of the characters is explaining to the other character how what they're doing is wrong, and they should look at the bigger picture. And some of the examples she gives were never in the movie. I don't know if those scenes got cut, or if we were supposed to get more from certain scenes, but it literally comes out of nowhere, and it actually is the focal point for the rest of the movie going forward. It seemed really strange, because once again, that conversation was like, wait, I didn't see any of what you just said. So it was kind of weird. But yeah, that's about it for the bad. For the good, I like the voice acting. Zoe Saldana, as most people know, is Gamora from the Guardians movies. She's really solid as Mrs. Fortnite. Sir Frost, Hugh Jackman, we all know from Logan, from the Wolverine movie, the X-Men movies. They both handle themselves well. Zach Galifianakis as the Bigfoot does very well and playing the naive character, almost so much though that he kind of seems like Drax from the Guardians movie. Like, he doesn't understand idioms, he doesn't understand sarcasm, he takes things very literal. And it does lead to some very funny moments in the movie. I laughed a lot at this movie, I'm not gonna lie. There's one line in this movie, I just cold-heartedly couldn't stop laughing for a couple minutes, because it was just so bonkers and out there. The puppetry is amazing. There's a fight scene in this movie that Laika's never really done a fight scene, but there's a fight scene here between at least about 15-20 puppets, and it looks smooth as hell. And the camera angles are really good. I've never seen anything Chris Butler did, but wow, this was jaw-dropping, this fight scene between the action, the close-ups, easily this 15-minute section of the movie probably could have taken up to like 4 months to film. And it's crazy how beautiful and gorgeous everything looks. I did like the story. There are obvious parts of it once you kind of figure out who everyone else is, but I did like how we got there. The interactions between Hugh Jackman character, Zoe's character, and Zach's character are really cool, and it makes for some fun conversations between all three of them, and particularly because so much of it has to be with the Sasquatch and Sir Frost's character. Of course, they're villains. One of them, the main villain, or the guy who gets the ball rolling, he sounds so much like Christopher Lee. I was actually pretty shocked, because that's a dead-on impersonation, and I know Christopher Lee's been dead for a while now, but he does an excellent recreation of Christopher Lee. The henchman, he's actually pretty good. He's also another character who has a very distinct design about him. I have to say that. Like, no one looks the same. Everyone has their own look, to say the least. It's kind of weird because once you find out why Sir Frost was contacted to see the Yeti or to see the Sasquatch, you kind of feel like the emotional moment is going to be in one place, but it's in actually a couple of other ones. I will say this, the ending is very dark. It is stretching by leaps and bounds. It's disbelief, though, when the ending sequence, but it still was a lot of fun to get there, and there are some laughs to be had there, and there are some growing moments, and I did like the way it ended, especially for one character where you think that character is just there to do something, and then they completely turn it around. Even though you kind of know where the ending is going, especially once you get to the third act. And I like the fact that they don't do the Disney third act breakup. It's really, they're down, there's a conversation, and then they figure it out, and then, the whole movie kind of moves quickly. Yeah, it's barely over an hour and a half, so there's not a lot of time for expository. There is one expository scene where two characters are tripping over each other, kind of literally, to explain everything to the Sasquatch. But other than that, it was really fun. I didn't expect it to be this funny. I hope more people see it. It is just beautiful to look at. It's gorgeous. Every scene, every time you see the Sasquatch, every time you see Sir Frost's character, it opens up really brilliantly with Sir Frost trying to get an oddity. And I will say this, Sir Frost's character and what his motivations are very much remind me of the villain in Box Trolls, where they want to get into the society, but they go about it differently, and it has different effects on them. So, if you see this movie, think back to what Frost's motivations are with the villain in Box Trolls. They're kind of very similar. This is easily the best animated movie I've seen all year. That's not saying much. And we have some heavyweights coming up with Toy Story 4. But I'm going to give this 8.6. This is a really good time. And I can't wait for it to come out on Blu-ray so I can add it to my Laika collection easily. So yeah, that's it for Missing Link. Did you see it? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.